Hello and welcome back to the channel. So tonight I'm up Bredon Hill. I'm actually out a good long time before sunset actually, which makes a change because I'm normally late. So if you saw my video from Bempton Cliffs, I probably arrived after sunset, or it's not far after it. Hopefully today got better conditions and better chance of getting some shots. Okay, so I think we might have a shot. The sun's a bit bright out that way, but this is looking like a potential shot. Probably moving a bit further away, probably quite wide, maybe. I actually prefer portrait. Come out a little bit, turn up. The aperture a little bit smaller. A lot of blue sky in it though. So not quite perfect. Probably not as good as I hope. Let's maybe get some of these sheep. That could work. Maybe shoot them through the gate to do something daft like that. Will that work? Yeah, paparazzi style. There's going to be better shots to be had today, I think. Definitely. Okay, I think I found another composition. It's those trees there. Can't really get that close in on this video, but something about them can't quite... I think separating them a little bit from the trees behind might be tricky. There's potential, and the trees behind it further on, again, you can't really see them, but yeah, potential. Okay, so let's tell you a little bit about what tonight's planned shoot is. It's essentially two trees on top of the hill, in a, I think it's grassy field at the moment. I don't think there's all that kind of yellow hay fever fields, as I call them. It's probably, I think it's quite a simple composition. I've literally found it, I've noticed it for the last couple of months. So I've been training for a marathon, a kind of hilly trail marathon. I spent most of my training actually running around Bredon Hill, and I often run past it. I've taken a couple of snaps on my phone, but you need to be closer to it. And I don't know, I think it could be a start of a project of like photographing it in a lot of different light. So we'll see. I don't know, it's really just a case of getting out, maybe scouting it about, trying to actually probably scout this place out a bit more on my camera, because I've only really shot up here once, maybe twice. The first time was to shoot a moonrise across from the top of the Cotswolds, trying to capture the moon rise behind Broadway Tower, which it was alright, wasn't a bad shot. Got some other good shots, and the sky absolutely kicked off. Like really, probably the best sunset I've seen in the last 2 years, and I was the wrong side of a hill to really capitalise on it. But I did get a couple of nice shots. But yeah, today's really about, I suppose, more scouting. Maybe the start of a project of taking a couple of shots from that place. Same composition, because I think that can be quite nice. I've got a couple of locations where I do that. One is Sloper Stones. I've got quite a few shots of a similar shot from the same rock, same composition in just different light. And I got a scene near Bala. I'm not going to try and pronounce the mountain range, Arran Ridge. I think it's Arran Fowan. I'm not going to pretend to pronounce it. Let's go and pronounce it. Great. So I think it's Arran Fowandi. Lots of W's, lots of D's. But yeah, every time I go up there, I tend to take that shot. So yeah. Okay, so as we're getting closer, it's probably worth trying to talk through my thought pattern of what shot I'm hoping to get. So this area of kind of Bredon Hill is mostly fields. It's a bit of a plateau. There's still some kind of rise on it, but it's mostly a plateau. So I'm looking, hopefully I could possibly use this wall. And it's in these two trees here, so I think I'm definitely gonna have to go out that way somewhere, out that way. But let's get a bit closer. Let's see what's there. And yeah, see what we can do. I must admit, when I tend to spot it, it tends to be more in that direction there rather than this direction. So I'm probably going to have to go out towards those trees a little bit. And actually be shooting a little bit away from those, away from that light, maybe. But what I can start to see is the wall kicks in. So there's potentially some interest here. There's a bush in the middle. That could be a good thing. It could be a bad thing. It could distract. I don't really want to get into kind of having to kind of Photoshop a bush out every time I come up here. So I'll try and make it work. If at all it works. But yeah, here we go. Here's the trees. So I'm definitely going to need to go out a bit more. Probably a reasonable way into this field. So yeah, I want to get them together. Okay, so we're set up, and if I take you in, if you can see that, yeah, it's looking better than expected. I think probably try and keep each tree on the rule of thirds. I think probably need to bracket exposure because it's quite a contrasty scene. So yeah, let's have a look. Let's go for it. So let's take the shot. Obviously I've got my strap still on it, so just to make sure I look amateur. But hey ho. The question is now, do I stay around a bit longer and see if I light changes? Maybe adjust the compositions, get a couple of different ones. Probably will do as I'm here, as this is what I came out here for. But it's turned to quite a nice night, and actually I'm quite happy with actually the lighting conditions on it. Yeah, job's a good one. Wow, that was good. Got some light. The cloud kind of parted. Managed to get a time lapse. Got some quite good light hitting the trees. So again, we'll see what it looks like when we're back into Photoshop. I took the time lapse on this. Got a DJI Osmo 3. First time lapse I've actually ever done. Looked alright. Put it on Instagram because Instagram's all about reels now. They play some music. M83 from the Oblivion soundtrack, because everyone uses that, so I thought I'd use that. Could have used Interstellar, but there wasn't any stars or anything, so it wasn't Astro, so I couldn't copy that trend. So what's the plan now? Well, the plan is to move on around. As you probably saw then, the sun's gone behind that big, quite a thick layer cloud. It's starting to cloud over. Weather's starting to turn a bit actually. Get a little bit chilly, a bit of wind. Potentially, I don't think it's going to rain. Not for at least 20-30 minutes or so. We'll see if the shower comes in. But yeah, plan is to walk on round, get a little bit high on the hill, hopefully get a view of the Severn Valley, and maybe get some more shots. But I think that was quite productive. I suppose one of the points I want to make is really about coming out and kind of exploring your local area, and spending time to actually explore it. So even now, if I just turn around, I've just spotted a potential composition down there. So this video is quite wide, but I think it's potentially a composition down there. You've got two leading lines with the wall. You've got the path leading to those trees with some interesting kind of hills in the background. So I think that's across to a village called Alderton. I'm not sure what those hills are called. Maybe Alderton Hills, maybe. But I'm just going to take that shot, see what it looks like, and then we'll have another chat. Okay, I'm not really sure that worked. Maybe if we get back into post. It was probably just a bit unbalanced. There's probably not enough going on the kind of left hand side. Ah, birds! Ooh. And a bit too heavy that side. I tried to get the leading line like kind of pointing to the tree, which is my main subject, but maybe not quite what I want. Probably a little bit too unbalanced. Yeah, probably a little bit too unbalanced for what I wanted, but you gotta do these things, you gotta try them. So yeah, I think it's what I kind of talk about, like making sure you get out and explore the local area, and it's not all about these, I suppose, greatest hits, big shots in landscape photography. It's sometimes noticing what's around you and getting more unique shots. Maybe they might not work that well on Instagram, because probably does any photography work well on Instagram anymore. But I think I found it when I first started out photography. I lived in Shrewsbury and Shropshire at the time, and we're talking now probably, I think I've been shooting about 12 years. I wouldn't say I've been like kind of continuous. I've kind of gone through periods of like taking it more seriously and kind of it dropping for other things. But when I started out, I discovered a place called Stones, which is a nature reserve on the edge of the Shropshire Hills. I think it's technically off the Shropshire Hills, but it's got quite big, nice granite tors. So it's got a nice foreground. It's high up. It's probably the highest point in Shropshire. Looking out to Wales, so you've got lots of rolling hills, lots of interest in the distance, and it's probably my favourite place to shoot. So it's where I started, but I kind of got a little bit, I suppose, blinkered in that was the only place I'd shoot, because I suppose I could get decent photos there and it was easy. And I always got some good photos, and I've gone up there quite a number of times since we've moved down. But when I moved down to Gloucestershire, I really struggled with photography because I didn't have anywhere I really knew where to go. And I did a bit in kind of Brecon Beacons, but nowhere kind of quite close I could do on an evening and think, yeah, I can do that. Get some shots. It was always, to be honest, mixed with a longer run activity. So I'm trying to blend two hobbies together. And what I often found was, if I did that, my run and my training for whatever I was doing ended up not being that good. And the photography tended to be a bit naff as well. And I did get some quite good shots that I quite like, and I do look back over that period in some of the photos, and there's none that really stand out. I think, yeah, I really like them. But then I started to get out a bit more, and I think the big thing for me is probably 2020, where obviously we had lockdown and all that rubbish, and I kind of got into YouTube, so there wasn't a lot else to do. So I watched a lot of YouTube photography videos, and it did I think it did give me a bit of a step change in my photography. So I was probably introduced, the kind of photographers I first saw was, I think it was Nigel Danson, his videos, bit of Thomas Heaton, and I think in particular James Popsis. Quite different styles, and I think probably James's photography is probably the one that's most inspired me, even though our styles are quite different. Probably, I'd say my styles are probably closer to Thomas Heaton or Nigel Danson than James Popsis, but I just found, I suppose, a bit more laid back attitude towards photography. Photography? I'll turn South African now. Just a bit more laid back, get out, shoot, and try and break your style a little bit, try and do something a little bit different, go somewhere different. And I think this is a very long, rambly way of saying, if you are struggling with photography, just go out locally, somewhere. If you're a landscape photographer, go out somewhere a bit more landscapey. If you're a bit more human interest, again, go somewhere where there's that human interest. But the main thing is just to go out and explore. You've got to get out, and sometimes you've got to force yourself out of that rut. And if you like me, my style of shooting is very much, how do I say this without being really insulting to myself? I don't know, but my photography is like, if I go out, it's like a spaniel on a walk. 1 minute it's over there, next minute it's over there, next minute it's there, next minute it's there, then it's back over there. And that's my photography. It's a lot more held, a bit scattergun. I don't tend to come out and shoot one shot. That's not me. I'm very much a kind of photographer who wants to get a lot of shots. Maybe that's to my detriment, but sometimes it's just a case of, sometimes you've got to lean into your style. And even now, I'm out. I've not been to this pit before, so I've gone off track, probably not on a public footpath. So I've run around this area, but I've not been to this particular area. So that bit over there, I can't really see, but a bit of a scrubby land, a couple of trees, looks quite interesting. Like potentially could be a nice wild camp, maybe. But here, now we've got a tree here, some brick walls. There's a bit of interest. We've got some light over the sky, over the Malverns, and some cloud. So yeah, but just getting out, just exploring, not really always having a plan. Sometimes things turn out, and I am going to try and have a crack at this, because again, you probably can't see very clearly on here. There's a bit of interest here. Might be able to do something. So let's have a look. Let's have a go. What's the worst that can happen? Right, so what am I thinking? I'm thinking I like that tree. I like this roller. I like the view over there, although the light has just died a little bit. But it's some quite nice walls. This is very, yeah, there's potential here. So let's have a go, let's have a look. What do I want to get into the shot? I want to get that rolling in, but I can't quite get high enough. Let's go and have a look at this tree. Yeah, I don't think the light's not helping, but I think pretty place, hard to take photos. But that's the way it is. But it's not, it's a nice night. think there's potential for a sunset if a cloud goes, if the sun goes underneath those clouds, because that cloud's moving this way, which if it does happen, I need to be, if we're over there, it's 3 miles back to the car. If it's 3 miles back to the car, I'm in a problem because I've not got my head torch. Fuck! So, tip number 1, landscape photography. If you're going to shoot sunsets or sunrises, be a bit more organised and bring your head torch. My head torch is outside my bed where I charge it. Okay, so I think I'm pretty much calling it for tonight. If I show you what's going on. So there's that bank of cloud over there. The sun's setting underneath it. And I suspect there's a gap under that cloud and the sun's going to come over it. But I'm the wrong side of a hill. So I'd probably need to be probably 2 miles over that way, which is tempting to go and try and chase, but that probably would mean it's 4 miles back to the car and I've not got my head torch. And although I've got my trail running shoes on, I'm wearing jeans, I'm carrying my camera, I'm carrying a tripod, and my legs are tired, and it's probably not a good idea. So, okay, I'm getting frustrated. Right, there is great light over there, and literally I've got nothing. Maybe the sun's starting to break out through that cloud. Might get something here. Might, maybe, nah. This is definitely a challenge. Can I get something? Can I get something with that light? Sun's starting to come through, but is he going to get enough sun between that cloud? Get my face. Right. Last chance saloon. Is there something? Can I get something with a sheep? There, let's have a go. Oh man, it's definitely kicking off now. Just wrong side of a hill. It's definitely one of those days where it's just, did I make the right decision today? Should I have gone over there somewhere? And truth be known, I don't think we've probably got as much light over there as I probably would have, as I kind of think. So I don't know whether to put my long lens back on. But the problem I've got, I think I might end up risking just getting very snapshotty, just pointing out the colour, and it not really being that good a photo. It could be like kind of one of those ones which is a bit, yeah, so what? What's it telling me? What's it a photo of? So yeah, but this is the joy of landscape photography. Getting out, chasing it. The fact it's not easy, it doesn't always go your way, which makes it even more sweeter when it does go your way. But the hit rate of getting better photos is get out more. The more you're out, the more chance you are of getting decent photos that you're happy with. That's the truth of it. If you look at the photographers you most look up to, the ones with like a portfolio full of really good photos, there's probably 2 reasons for that, and they're both quite linked. 1, they get out and shoot a lot, and 2, because they get out and shoot a lot, they've deliberately practiced their craft, and their hit rate is better. But the hit rate might be, I don't know, 5% rather than 1%. Might even be closer to 1%. But it's all a case of just getting out there and doing it. I think the light's gone. Hey ho. See you in the next one.